Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. I am back today with a brand new cake recipe just in time for Valentine's Day, and I'm going to make my rose cake. You guys are going to love this unique and delicious cake. So I start with rose water flavored cake layers. We're going to add a rose marmalade on the inside between the cake layers, and we're going to frost the cake with a rose buttercream and add some red roses on top of the cake. You guys are going to love everything about this cake. The rose water imparts this really light floral essence to the cake, and it's a perfect choice for baby showers and Valentine's Day and birthday parties, really any special occasion. This is the cake to make. Let me show you how it's made. I already have my oven preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to get started on the cake batter. Now this recipe is going to be slightly different from my previous cake layer recipes. I'm going to start with 4 large egg whites, and I'm going to place them into my mixer bowl, and we're going to whisk them on high speed for about 3 to 4 minutes until we get stiff peaks. And then once my egg whites have reached the right consistency, I'm going to gently just transfer them into a different bowl and set them aside for now. And with my egg whites out of the mixing bowl, I'm going to proceed with the recipe. I'm going to add in the 4 large egg yolks into the mixing bowl. Pour in 3/4 cups of either vegetable or canola oil, whatever type of light cooking oil that you would like to use it in this recipe. So 3/4 cups of that. And 1 cup of white granulated sugar. And then I'm going to mix all these ingredients together on medium speed for about 2 to 3 minutes until everything is well combined. Next, I'll pour in 1 cup of whole milk. And now it's time to add in the rose water. So this is the exact brand and the exact extract that I'm using today. You can add anywhere from 1 to 2 teaspoons of this, just depending on how floral and how rose flavored you want your cake to be. I have some pink and red color. You can add as much food coloring as you would like, or you could just leave it out completely. And then just give this a mix for about a minute just to get things incorporated. Moving on to my dry ingredients, I have 2½ cups of all-purpose flour. To that I'm going to add in 4 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And just combine those together, and then we're going to sift them into the cake batter. And it's always super important to sift your ingredients, otherwise you're bound to get a clump of flour in there somewhere. Sift that right in. And then I'll mix this again for about 30 seconds on medium to low speed, just until that flour is incorporated. And now I could start incorporating the egg whites into the cake batter. So I'm going to do about 1/3 at a time, drop it in, and then take your spatula and very gently fold the egg white into the batter. So kind of just fold from the bottom of the mixing bowl to make sure that everything gets combined. And we're essentially just trying to make this a lighter cake batter. We want it to be a little bit more fluffy. So I've lined 3 8-inch cake pans with parchment paper, and I'm going to divide this batter evenly between the 3 cake pans. If you want to be super technical, you can also use a kitchen scale to measure out every single cake layer. I'm just going to use my spoon to approximate. And these cake layers are ready to go into my preheated oven. I'm going to bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 27 to 29 minutes, just until they're done. And you could use the toothpick test method to make sure that the cakes are indeed done. And then once they're done, just take them out, let them cool completely on a wire rack, and then we'll come back to make the rose buttercream and to assemble the cake. My cake layers have cooled completely, and now I'm going to start on my buttercream. So I have 2 cups of unsalted butter that I'm going to drop into my mixer bowl. You want to make sure it's nicely softened, but not too soft. Once you have all your butter in your mixing bowl, go ahead and turn on the mixer and whisk the butter for about 7 to 8 minutes on high speed until it's really light and fluffy. It should be almost white in color. Don't forget to stop periodically and scrape down the sides of that mixing bowl to make sure that all the butter gets whipped. And I have my butter nicely whisked. I'm going to start adding in my confectioner's sugar. So you can add anywhere from 2 to 3 cups of confectioner's sugar. The more you add, the thicker and fluffier it's going to be. So I'm gonna add about 2.5 cups today. I'm also going to add in my rosewater extract. I'm going to start with 1/2 teaspoon at first, taste test it, and then add more as needed. So start with a little bit and then add more, because you can always add more, but you can't take it out. So once you add in the confectioner sugar, start out on a low speed first and then increase it once it gets all incorporated. And once that sugar is incorporated, turn up the speed to high and give it a good whisk for about 2 to 3 minutes. You want it to be really light and fluffy. And at the very end, I'm also going to add in a little bit of concentrated food coloring so it matches my cake. This is completely optional. You can leave your frosting without any color. And now I'm ready to assemble my cake. My cake layers have cooled completely. This buttercream turned out absolutely amazing. I love the color. I also love how fluffy it is, and it tastes phenomenal with that rosewater extract. And for my filling, I'm going to be using some rose marmalade. Now this jam was a little more difficult to find than I expected. I ended up having to order this off of Amazon. I'll include an affiliate link down in the video description box below, but check out like a local specialty grocery store for this. It tastes really, really good, but it's just a little bit difficult to find. I also prepped some rose water syrup. So I just combined 1/2 cup of sugar with 1/2 cup of boiling water, stirred that around until it was completely dissolved, let it cool, and I added a little bit of rose water extract to this as well. So now, to get this started, what I'm going to do is grab a long serrated knife and level off the tops of these cake layers first, so they're nice and even and I have a beautiful cake. And most of the time, you just need to level it off like the tiniest bit, so there's not a lot coming off the top of the cake. And before I add that buttercream, I'm just gonna grab a pastry brush and lightly soak the cake layer with that rose water syrup. Add on some of that buttercream and then grab an offset spatula and spread it evenly to the edges. Next, I'm going to add about 1/3 cup of rose marmalade. Just drop it right on top. Grab a little spatula and just spread it in a nice even layer. Add the remaining rose jam right into the center. And then for my final layer, I'm going to soak it first, and then I'm going to invert it onto the cake. I always like to do that for my cakes, then I get like a really nice even top if you invert that final layer. So I've applied a crumb coat of this frosting onto the cake. Now I'm going to place it into my freezer for about 10 minutes to allow that first layer to set up, and then I'll come back and add the final layer of frosting. And check out how pretty it looks on the inside. I love these layers here. You have a little bit of that rose jam on the inside. This is gonna taste so, so delicious. And how stunning is this rose cake? I love how it turned out. It's just so simple and elegant, and the roses are like the perfect finish, the perfect garnish for this cake. You can also use the little tiny roses. Those would also look really well on this cake. For the full recipe, just head on down into that video description box. You'll find a link that'll take you over to my website where you can print this recipe off and share it with your family and friends. And now let's dig in and enjoy. And I love this pink color. It just turned out so, so pretty. Wow, you guys are just gonna be blown away with the unique and delicious flavor of this cake. I absolutely love that light floral essence that the rose water gives this cake. It's not overwhelming. It's like this perfect floral kind of flavor that's just throughout the cake. I love that rose jam and that buttercream and the layers. It all comes together for one incredible cake. If you're looking for something unique and delicious for Valentine's Day, for a baby shower, for a birthday party, for any special occasion, this is the cake for you. For the full recipe, don't forget to head on down to that video description box, and I hope you guys enjoy this cake for your next special occasion. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.